Hi everybody, how's it going? I hope you're all doing amazing today. I just heard somebody talk about how antioxidant teas are super important right now and they help to beat all viruses, and I totally agree. I actually make it a daily ritual to have some really beautiful antioxidant tea. If for those of you that don't know, I also have an online tea company called Kaya's Tea, www.kayastea.com, Kayastea. And I've got some really beautiful blends there. I am going to be doing, I'm still doing delivery of the teas until further notice, but a lot of them are antioxidant teas. Actually, most of them are, and they're all eco-certified organic. So I've got here some beautiful sage that I'm sending over to you to help clear any energetic debris, anything that no longer serves, and just helping you clear that away at this time with your permission, of course. And we thank the spirits of the sage. We thank the grandfather and grandmother energies of the sage for their presence, for their guidance, for their love, compassion, and wisdom to all of us at this time. Sending you healing energy wherever you are right now. Beautiful souls, sisters and brothers of the light. Love you all. There you go. Thank you. All right. And this was a gift from my dear friend and also Reiki teacher, one of my two Reiki teachers, Mandika Divya. Follow her on YouTube. She's awesome. Sorry, on Facebook. I don't know if she has a YouTube account. But if you're on Facebook or Instagram, follow her because she's awesome. Speaking of teas, where's my tea? I just made a really nice infusion. As you can see, I've got in here reishi mushroom, very, very high in antioxidants. I have some rose petals. I have some organic green sencha. And yeah, every day just make a little cup, make a little brew of like these amazing herbs and flowers. Green tea is super good. Rose flowers. The rose actually is the highest antioxidant on this planet. Sorry, not antioxidant, the highest frequency on this planet. I think one of the highest antioxidants is actually clove oil that I always have in the diffuser, and I always put it under my feet, the soles of my feet, same as frankincense. Those are really the arsenals that I absolutely love to have. And yeah, if I could pick just a couple things, I would always have rose flower, chaga, very high adaptogen and antioxidant. I would have dandelion. Dandelion's very powerful as well. A lot of people are recommending it at this time to help fight all viruses. And I would have for my oils frankincense and clove and rose. Those are the arsenals of top immunity. Yeah. You didn't think this was going to be a lesson on antioxidants and herbs, did you? Well, it's also going to be a tarot reading. And I've got here my Rider-Waite deck. This is actually a very old deck that I have. Oh, the lights just went off. All right, the lights just went off. They're on a timer. They went off. That's okay. I'm going to wait for them to just magically come back on. In the meantime, we're going to be making this video in the dark. It's kind of nice here. I got some fire. Got the spirit of the fire igniting our hearts. Hope I don't burn my hair. Yeah, that would not be good. All right. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to do reading. I like to do these energetic readings, and I feel like whoever is watching will resonate with what I'm saying. That's something that I really came to know just probably in the midst of my spiritual awakening back in 2012, towards the end of 2011. I was watching a lot of videos and other spiritual healers and teachers making videos, and they would kind of just go on and ramble about stuff, and that's very yin energy. you know, but that's the Shakti power. That's where the true power is. And I'd be like, you know, the masculine part of my brain, you know, the very like linear structural side would be like, okay, this video has a title and they haven't answered the title's like thing, you know, or theme. For instance, like let's say the video is on like high frequency herbs, you know, but you didn't really get to that until like maybe halfway through the video. Or the video was about like a total, you know, ambiguous topic and it was somehow filled in there, you know, but you had to watch the whole video to really get the message. So it's kind of like that. And I find that that's just so much more natural. There is something for everybody. I usually watch videos from start to finish, especially with a lot of my favorite psychics and tarot readers online, because I know how this magic works. You know, they're tapped in to spirit and we are all one, we're all connected, so they're going to say something that's really going to hit home, you know. And I say I have ADHD, and I do, and I have friends that will confirm with you that I probably have one of the worst cases. I don't take any drugs for it, I don't medicate in any way, but you know, I try to manage by do I manage? I try to manage by saying I manage. I've just come to really accept the fact that I am always in flow and momentum. I'm always just chasing the momentum, and that's okay. That's how I am. And I have, you know, very highly creative and psychic abilities, and I feel like being in this flow and being in this playfulness helps me channel, because I'm not in my head. I'm not like, oh shit, I missed that point, you know? I've got an itinerary and I've got to hit all these notes. You know, my brain isn't like in that mode, because that's fine. Like if you're performing surgery on someone, you want to have that kind of brain, right? But if you are in the artistic, spiritual, channeling art, right? Like all artists, poets, we're all channelers. We're always channeling this higher power and this raw creative force. We need to just let go. We need to be in flow. We can't override the natural flow, right? So, anyways, these videos are becoming a little bit more, I think, spiritual teaching. And, you know, I'm a teacher. I'm always a teacher, so I'm always going to be teaching something. But, yeah, I'm going to get into the tarot. Don't you worry. Come on, we're only 8 minutes into the video. All right, if you guys have been watching this far, I hope you learned something. I hope I inspired you somehow, and you could turn the video off right now, or you can wait for me to give a little message. And the light is back on. You see? Perfect timing. Okay. What do the cards have? Actually, that's enough light, I think. All right, I don't know. Yeah, that's nice. I like it. I like a little bit of the dimness. It's very nostalgic and magical. Okay, okay. So, somebody could be deceiving you in some way. There's a 7 of Swords. You know, there's somebody that you're dealing with. Could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Oops, not me. Not doing this. Gemini. I feel that this is somebody who is very good with words and very charming, and you know, they just know what to say, and they've got the right things to say, and you're just all focused on what they've got to say, that you know, or how they say it, how they deliver it, that you really miss the fact that they're like running off with your stuff and trying to get away with it. So that's a message that's coming through for some of you. Let's get some clarity on what that could look like. All right. A couple things here. A couple cards came up. Okay. Yeah, some of you might be dealing with a Libra as well. There's a Justice card. Somebody might actually be also in a legal entanglement, and they're trying to maybe get away with something. But I see here the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor. So, whatever this situation is, I think that things are going to naturally evolve and improve for you. So, let's say you are this person and you're trying to get away with something. Lady Luck's on your side, all right? I'm not saying like go and do horrible things or try to get away with crime. I'm not saying that. I am saying that if for whatever reason you are maybe not fully disclosing something to someone, and you're acting a bit like this, you have your reasons, right? What I'm getting is that, you're doing it. See, for a lot of you, I think you're keeping things from people because you don't want to hurt their feelings. I feel like it doesn't always have to be self-serving. And whatever it is, I feel you feel is something that's out of your control, and fortune is going to turn in your favor, and you're going to feel strong enough to make the right choices, and also maybe strong enough to disclose some of those things that you haven't been fully forthright about. Let's get a couple more cards here. There you go, Page of Swords. All right, so some of you might also be waiting on a message, or you might be delivering a message through online means. And it just seems, it's so fitting these days. We can't really, go out too much because of all these restrictions and this madness that's happening. But I feel with this card that you're going to be receiving communication from someone. Also, you could have been like, the roles could be reversed here as well, right? You hear a lot of tarot readers say that, the energies might be reversed. So, we could be talking about a Gemini or a Libra, an air sign in this situation, but we could also be talking about somebody that the air sign is dealing with. So you might be dealing with a different sign altogether that has had this sort of like very sneaky way about them, and this sneaky way of doing things and navigating things. And I feel like with this person, one thing I'm tapping into is that you feel like they're gone. You feel like there's no way that the two of you are ever going to talk again, that you're ever going to reconcile. But the message I'm getting is that when you least expect it, and of course, so cliche, but that's when it happens. When you least expect it, this person is just going to come through. You're going to get a message. This is the Page of Swords. You're going to get that message. They're going to write to you, probably through text, or Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp or whatever, but they're going to come with a message. Now let's look at what that message could look like. What does that message look like when they come through? All right. Okay, so here's a Four of Swords in reverse, okay? So maybe this whole like, self-isolation thing is really getting to them. And they're realizing what's important to them. Let's turn that there in the upright so they can have a little bit of peace of mind. They may just be feeling like they're finally realizing that your connection with them is a powerful one, and one that they want to keep and nourish in their lives. And so maybe they come around with an apology is something I'm getting as well. Let's look for a timeline. Give us a timeline. When is this person coming around? All right. Yeah, it could also have something to do with home. Like they might be in the midst of moving, or they're thinking of moving, or they just don't want to be where they're at as well. I feel that a big part of their motivation for contacting you could be could have something to do with this. They might also feel that you've moved on. Maybe you've started seeing someone else, if this is romantic, and they're feeling it. They're feeling like you're pulling away energetically from them. And that is part of magic. So it's all energy. I always say that we're all energy. We're all, to an extent, energy vampires. And so what we do is we get, for those that don't know how to cultivate energy in ways that are sustainable and ethical, like, go out in the sun, hug a tree, ground, take off your shoes, and, feel the earth's energies and be nourished by that. A lot of people just take energy from others, right? The energy vampires, the psychic vampires, we call them as well. That's a whole other video on that. But in love and in relationships, especially, we give a lot of ourselves and we give a lot of that energy. So you notice, when you break up with someone and you move on and you start seeing someone else, and then that person comes around again and they want forgiveness, they want a second chance. It's because all that energy that you were giving them, all of that energy that you were providing for them, it's like food, right? Like you were giving them a meal and that meal was good. But then eventually they ate it so much they got tired of it, they didn't want any more. They went for, I don't know, fried food, or maybe you were like their salad, but they needed something gross, or vice versa. Regardless, they feel now that you are taking that energy back, and maybe you're giving it to something else or someone else. And they're feeling that. They're like, oh, shit, like I'm hungry. That was actually feeding me, and I can't get it now. So, if somebody comes around when you have pulled energy back, really ask yourself if this is a connection that is serving you as well. Were you just in a place where you were just giving and you were just cooking the meal and serving it, or was this person also maybe baking you some cookies? It was mutually beneficial. So I'm going to have a sip of my tea here. So good. And you can actually eat rose petals, are edible. So, okay. And that's what I'm feeling here as well. I'm feeling that you could, if you have moved on, and you may have moved on with an earth sign as well, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, maybe that's where you need to be. Although I am feeling there's this big pull with this person, with this connection. Let's pull a couple more cards. So tell us more about this connection. Ooh, okay. Knight of Pentacles. You could be dealing currently with somebody who's very slow moving. And maybe they're also a little bit like you, especially if you're a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. You feel like this person's very slow moving. You could be dealing with a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. And you feel that this person, even though they have all these amazing gifts and talents, you feel like there's something about them that's a little bit like, I'm getting sluggish. There's some sluggishness to them. You wish that they could do things better, but there's like this way about them where they're just not, I'm hearing the word oomph, like there's not a lot of oomph to them. They might also just be in a place where they're, maybe they're not as financially resourceful, and they're just kind of holding on to the little bit that they have, and they're okay with that, and there's like some complacency. And if you're an air sign, you absolutely hate that because you are all about expansion, and this is kind of pulling at your strings a bit, at your seams. Okay. Couple more cards. Wah! Got too many cards. You know what? I'm getting the message that I'm going to use a different deck. I'm going to use a different deck to ask a couple more questions. All right, there we go. Okay. The Lovers. So yeah, there you go. Some of you might be dealing with a Gemini as well. The Lovers card represents Gemini. It actually showed up in the reverse. Now I'm going to need clarity for that Gemini card, since I'm a Gemini. There's a lot of air in this reading, and there's a lot of earth. So I feel that if you're watching this, you fall into one of those categories. Okay? There's earth and there's air. Ooh, what is that? Okay. So I got the Ten of Pentacles and it showed up in the reverse. What I'm feeling with you, if you are a Gemini, is that there is a connection that you are sort of like half in, half out with. And, it could be a couple, it could be a couple people you're dealing with, but there's this half in, half out. It's like it's not full cream, it's not full skim milk. There's half in, half out energy. And you don't want to be in the reverse. You want to know clearly, and you feel like things need to change, and they will. You've got the Wheel of Fortune. Things are going to magically, that's it. It's going to just literally, it's like it's going to fall from the sky. It's going to fall from the sky. This magical thing. And it's going to set everything in motion for you. And it's all going to make sense. Yeah, it's all going to make sense. I'm seeing here, it's like I'm lost for words. It's like the Gemini's lost for words, stuck. Okay, I think we'll end it there, but I'm going to pull a couple oracle cards. I like to end the readings with oracle cards just because they're gentle. It's a nice way to like say goodbye to you. You've got like people that come over and you're having a good time, but then there gets a point where you're like, I want my alone time. And it won't last long. You wanting alone time because you're probably like me and you don't like to be alone. You want to be constantly stimulated, but then you feel overwhelmed by someone's presence, and the second they leave, you're like, okay, let's make plans. Let's go do something. But yeah, that's what I'm feeling with this energy as well. That there is a sense of like, I want my own time back, but then you're going to come back around and maybe you're going to see things differently with some of these connections, maybe with the sluggish connection as well. So anyways, let's get a couple oracle cards here. Just to close off this reading, some advice cards from the angels and the archangels and the ascended masters. A couple advice cards here for this reading. But yeah, I'm definitely getting that magic. That magic's coming in for you. Literally going to fall from the sky. Okay. I got a lot of cards here. You know what? I feel because I started talking, I'm not going to talk now. I'm just going to pull the cards I got in the way. All right, there we go. Okay, crown chakra. There you go. So some of you might actually have a little bit of a crown chakra block because it came up in the reverse. Ooh, I'm seeing like Atlantis. I'm seeing misty nights. This is cool. I like it. Paying attention to your ideas. I'm also hearing dreams as they are messages of true divine guidance sent in answer to your prayers. Yes. Listen to those ideas. Trust those ideas that are coming from on high. Also, another message I'm getting is that a lot of you are extremely clairvoyant and psychic, and you need to trust yourself and develop more of those gifts, especially at this time. Let's get one more card. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you're still watching, could you please message me and tell me that you actually watched this far? And I'm going to do something special for you. Okay? Because I don't know. I think, yeah, there will be maybe one person that watches this far. And if that's you, there's something special for you. So message me. There you go. Emotional sensitivity. Honor and respect your deep sensitivity as it is a gift to us all, So if at this time you are feeling, especially if at this time you're feeling the collective energies, and you're feeling some of those, not so nice emotions that the collective is feeling and you're processing them, keep in mind that as empaths, we sometimes confuse our own feelings or we confuse the feelings of the collective for our own. So be very mindful of that and be very gentle with yourself if you are feeling anything like that isn't in alignment with who you are. Be gentle with yourself. Don't beat yourself up for it. All right, that's it. Sayonara. I'm glad you guys and gals watched this far. Honestly, you're troops. And yeah, message me. There is going to most definitely be a gift for you here. All right. See ya.